Welcome to Hebrew Words in Scripture. This is going to be lesson 37. And just for fun, let's look at the word Hebrew. Just for fun, I suppose we could begin our search for the word Hebrew in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament. I know what we're going to find. We interestingly see that the word Hebrew only appears in the book of Hebrew in the title Hebrews. So let's look up here in the book of Philemon. See the word Hebrews. And here is the New Testament form of the word Hebrews. It's Ebraios in the English transposed letters for the Greek word Hebrews. And we see obviously that it's a transliteration, and so we indeed have to go to the Hebrew form. That's a little unusual. Usually the Greek transliteration will give me a reference to the Hebrew word that's used. Here we find in Genesis 14:13, it says, "And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew." Here it is, Ain, Beth, Resh, Yot, Ibri, and we see that it is, by definition, one from beyond. If we explore that a little bit, designation of the patriarchs, the Israelites, and it comes from the word Eber, and we see that Eber, or Iber, comes from a word meaning the region beyond or across. The side, the region across or beyond, the side or the opposite side. And interestingly enough, it goes through a region across. It's on the opposite side of the Jordan, usually meaning to the east. And Abraham, interesting play on the words there, A-B-R, the B-R is in the name Abraham, but the word actually comes from the word Iber, meaning to be across. So it's kind of a play on words, perhaps, or a play on letters even. So we see that Eber, or Hebrew, is someone, if you're standing in Jerusalem, is someone who comes from across the river, or from the other side of the river, from the land of the Mesopotamia. That would be where Abraham began his journey to the land of Israel. So on a map, we see Mesopotamia over here is not quite visible on our map. Of course, this is where Abraham settled, and we see the whole Mediterranean, Spain, Italy, Greece, the African continent. And we see that after the flood, Shem was one of the sons of Noah. In chapter 11, verse 10, we see that Shem begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood, and Arphaxad begat Salah 35 years after he was born, and at the age of 30, Salah begat Eber. So Eber is only 67 years after the flood. That's the same time frame in which Nimrod was born, who was the founder of the city of Babylon. And of course, after they built the city of Babylon, there was the dispersion. And so we see that the dispersion took place, and these languages spread out all over the known world at that time. We visit the New Testament, and we see after the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, Peter preached in Jerusalem to Hebrews from all over the world, and they returned to their own languages, their own cities of origin. We also find in the New Testament that Paul, in his letter to the Romans, had a great desire. As a matter of fact, he expected to not only go to Rome and preach to them, but he also planned to go to Spain. Which brings me to the point of my story. So the Jews have an historical presence in the land of Spain, and they are, in 1492, they are given a choice to leave or to stay and be converted to Catholicism, or to die. And so the question arises, was the Iberian Peninsula named because of the Iberian people, or the Ebers, the Hebrews? I can't verify this historically and or linguistically. Someone else may be able to connect the dots and verify this